Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Houghton, as Jeff mentioned, the vocational sales manager for Freightliner trucks in the Northwest, and that includes Alaska and Hawaii. With me today is Bill Steinauer, who covers the Southwest for Freightliner trucks, and Bob Carrick, who is our manager for natural gas vehicles at Freightliner. Again, I want to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to be here today to talk just a little bit about Freightliner trucks. I'm going to give you a fairly high-level overview of Daimler Trucks North America and Freightliner, and Bill is going to take my spot partway through the presentation and give you an idea of some of the current product offerings that we have and some of the offerings that are going to be coming up in the future. Wanted to point out that Freightliner is, yeah, we're a truck manufacturer, but we don't want to just be that. We want to be a business partner with all of you to help make your businesses and your work as efficient and productive as possible. Daimler Trucks North America and Daimler has a long and diverse history in the automotive industry going back more than 120 years. And Leland James founded Freightliner in Portland, Oregon, which is still the home of our corporate office. It was founded in 1942. So we're celebrating our 75th anniversary this year. Daimler Trucks and Daimler Trucks North America has a diverse line of products available. Of course, you're all aware of our highway and vocational products, but we also produce school buses, transit buses, and another wide range of commercial vehicles. We have manufacturing facilities across North America. The main ones that I'll talk about today, since they're related to our vocational product, is Cleveland and Mount Holly, North Carolina, and Saltillo and Santiago, Mexico. The majority of our vocational products are produced in that Mount Holly and Santiago facilities. Our Detroit diesel engines, transmissions, and axles are produced in our Redford or Detroit, Michigan facility. If any of you ever have an opportunity or a desire to tour our facilities, please reach out to us. We'd love to take you on a tour and show you how the product is put together and talk to our manufacturing people. Our Freightliner dealer network is composed of over 600 authorized repair facilities. That includes our Freightliner dealers, our Detroit diesel distributors, our Travel Centers of America, and Petrolube locations. We also currently have 8 parts distribution centers across North America, and we will be adding 2 more in the first quarter of 2018. Of course, ideally, we would like our dealer parts inventory to be as complete as it possibly can, so that when you have a vehicle in there for repairs, they'll have the parts on hand. If they don't have the parts on hand, then it's our objective to get those parts to the repair facility as quickly as we possibly can. And we've strategically located our parts distribution centers so that we can get parts to our dealers within 24 hours as much as possible. Obviously, we can't always do it, but that's our goal. Historically, when we talk about the cost of ownership of a vehicle, we think about what did we pay for the vehicle when it was new? How much did we sell it for when it was finished, and what sort of investments did we make in repairs and maintenance while we owned the vehicle? Of course, all those things are true, but at Freightliner, we have said there's more to it than just that. There's some things that are important to the customer and that aren't necessarily as easy to measure in dollar amounts. And so what we've done is taken an approach what we call the real cost of ownership. We have an approach that we use for our highway vehicles and a slightly different approach that we use for our vocational vehicles. On our highway vehicles, of course, fuel economy is very important. On vocational, we've got some other pillars that we think are perhaps a little more important than fuel economy. We've got productivity, ease of upfit when our vehicles are at our truck equipment manufacturers and bodybuilders, safety, quality, and uptime. Productivity means that when you get your vehicle, you purchase it to do a job. You didn't purchase it to sit around collect dust or be at a repair facility. So we have used our engineering and manufacturing resources to try and produce the most durable and reliable vehicles that we possibly can. And we look for opportunities from you, the customer, to find other ways that we can make our products more durable and increase your productivity and your efficiency. Ease of upfit at our truck equipment manufacturers and bodybuilders means that their job is easier to install equipment so they can get it to you faster and in a higher quality that is less likely to have issues down the road. We supply the vehicles with engines, transmissions, and lighting interfaces that are easy for the bodybuilders and truck equipment manufacturers to plug into. Reduces the need for them to cut and splice our wires, and of course that causes corrosion issues down the road. So anything that we can do to make that easier for them, we are interested in hearing about it. On the engineering side, about 1 month before the vehicle is manufactured, we produce 3D models of all of our chassis layouts that is used, they are used to assemble the vehicles and make sure everything is laid out as it needs to be. We make those 3D models available to our truck equipment manufacturers and bodybuilders so that they can import them into their system and potentially make their installations easier and avoid interference between cross members, any components that are located on the chassis. And again, that's something that we provide to our truck equipment manufacturers and body installers at no charge. We offer customer-specific frame drilling. So if you have a run of vehicles where the chassis layout is going to be similar and you're having to drill a series of holes in the frame rails to do the installation, if the installer or the engineering group that's responsible for the design can provide us with a drawing, we can punch those holes at our frame rail facility. Saves the truck equipment manufacturer a ton of time. Plus, it ensures that the holes are not likely to be located in an area where they could potentially cause issues down the road. Safety is another pillar in our real cost of ownership. A couple of examples is operator visibility. When you get in the cab of a Freightliner and you look through the windshield over the hood, you'll see that the line of sight is much cleaner and much shorter than it is in some of the other competitors' vehicles. We've tried to make the cab easy to enter and exit with a series of grab handles that are safe. Again, safety is key not just to you but to us as well. We understand that the operators of the vehicles, they need to go home safe at the end of the day to their families, and we want to do whatever we can on the Freightliner side to ensure that that happens. I mentioned before that we have manufacturing and engineering facilities around the world. Daimler Trucks North America, Daimler Trucks worldwide. We're able to leverage that engineering knowledge and that manufacturing experience to produce the highest quality vehicles that we possibly can. But we don't feel that we're ever going to get to the finish line. For us, the culture of Freightliner is one of continuous improvement. So we look for opportunities to take something that's good or even great and try to make it better. And feedback from you as customers and equipment managers is essential. Even when there's things that aren't going well, or if they are going well, we want to know either way so that we can take that back and use a structured problem-solving approach to finding ways to do things better. The last of the real cost of ownership pillars that I'm going to talk about today is uptime. As I mentioned before, you don't purchase vehicles to have them sit around and be in dealerships. Uptime is essential for your productivity. We want the truck out working. I mentioned our network of over 600 plus authorized service facilities. Two of the tools that those facilities have in their toolboxes are what we call elite support and express assessment. Elite support, I'm going to call it a program, but it's really much more than that. Elite support is it's a set of criteria that we expect our dealers to satisfy before they can become certified. And it's things like the cleanliness of their facility, the organization of their shop. Do they have facilities for the drivers if they're waiting? What is their communication with the customer? There's an annual recertification process that we require them to go through to ensure that they're meeting the criteria. But again, it's much more than that. We expect our elite support dealers to demonstrate a culture of continuous improvement. A newly certified dealer will, they'll have a nice clean facility and they'll think, wow, we got there. But after 2 or 3 years of the elite support culture and the changes that they go under, they realize that they are never, ever there. There's always improvements that can be made. We as an organization at Freightliner and Daimler Trucks North America work with the dealers to help identify ways that they can improve their processes and make the experience better for their customers and our customers. The cornerstone of elite support is express assessment. And what it is, a 2-hour check and advise program where when you bring your vehicle into the repair facility, we expect the dealer to do an initial diagnosis and communicate back to the customer within 2 hours with an explanation of the diagnosis, what parts are required, and what is the time frame for repairs to be completed. Now again, that's not the repair will be completed in 2 hours, but to provide the customer within 2 hours with the information that they need to make a decision about the vehicle. The decision might be, it's good, let's leave it there, let's get the repairs completed. It might be, let's get the driver into another truck. It might be, let's bring the truck back to our shop. But it's better than having the truck sit for 4 or 5 days to find out it has a blown fuse. So again, the idea of express assessment is within 2 hours, get the customer the information that they need in order to make an educated decision on what to do with the vehicle. I'm going to talk a little bit about the lineup of vocational vehicles that we currently have at Freightliner. Fairly high level, so I'm going to touch on just some of the points that I think might be interesting to you. The workhorse of our Freightliner vocational lineup is the 114 SD. Comes in both setback and set forward axle configurations. Engines available are the Detroit DD13, and I didn't mention it before. Many of you probably are aware that Detroit Diesel is one of Freightliner's sister companies within Daimler Trucks North America, so that is our proprietary engine. Also available in the 114 is the Cummins L9, the newly engineered and soon to be released Detroit Diesel DD8 8-liter engine, and Bill's going to talk about that a little bit more. We also in the 114 SD offer the ISL natural gas engine and the ISL near zero natural gas engine. And the third natural gas engine that we offer is the ISX12. 114 SD comes in gross vehicle weight configurations up to 92,000 pounds and 350 to 505 horsepower. So again, this is our workhorse. This is our snowplow, our dump truck, cranes. Also available as a tractor if you're looking for a heavy haul type tractor application. The 108 SD is the slightly smaller brother to the 114, available in a setback axle position only. Comes with or is available with Cummins B7 and L9 engines, as well as the new Detroit DD8. Available in GVWs up to 79,000 pounds and a horsepower range of 220 to 380 horsepower. So this is a slightly more economical version of the 114 SD. Also a great vehicle for dumps, snowplows, sanders, volumetric mixers, that type of application. Probably the most versatile vehicle in our vocational lineup is the M2 106, available with the Detroit DD5, which is a 5-liter version similar to the DD8, Cummins B7 and L9 engines. Comes in a setback axle position only, GVWs up to 56,000 pounds and a horsepower of 200 to 350 horsepower. This thing is a great vehicle for small dumps, plows, water tanks, lube trucks, utility. you name it, we've got this vehicle in those types of applications. Slightly larger version of the M2 106 is the M2 112. Again, available with the Detroit DD13, the Cummins ISL, as well as the ISL natural gas and near zero version of the natural gas engine. Comes in a setback position only, up to 80,000 pounds GVW and a horsepower of 260 to 450 horsepower. Appropriate for end dump, snowplow type applications, roll-offs, hook lifts. Again, extremely versatile, very much like the 106. I'm going to mention now that all of the configurations we just looked at, the 114, the 108, the 106, the 112, all come in a day cab, an extended cab, and a crew cab variation. So if you have a need or an application where you've got workers that need to be transported to a site, we do have that large crew cab available to them. Those configurations are also available in 4x4 and 6x6 configurations if you need all-wheel drive. The last, but of course not least in our vocational lineup, is the 122 SD. So this is our heavy haul truck, available with the Detroit DD13, the DD15, the DD16, and the Cummins X15. Comes in day cab configurations or sleepers if you have the need. Gross vehicle weights up to 160,000 pounds and horsepower 350 to 605 horse. Great vehicle for heavy haul tractors, end dumps. This is our logging truck in the Northwest that we use, as well as other types of vocational applications. Customers like it especially for that classic look with the chrome, the square grille, the big hood. Very popular amongst loggers and dump truck drivers. Wanted to touch on this. This is our lineup of our current natural gas vehicles. So we have on the left the Cascadia 113, which is of course our highway tractor, currently available with the ISX 12 natural gas engine. In the middle we've got the M2 112, which I mentioned is available with the ISL and the ISL near zero engines. And the 114 SD, also available with a natural gas engine, ISLG, near zero, and the ISX 12 natural gas engine. Wanted to put this in there to show the versatility of the natural gas engine in these applications. You can see we've got snow plows, we've got utility trucks, we've got refuse type vehicles all out there running with natural gas. So if you were thinking about putting a natural gas engine in your vehicles, but you're not sure that it's right for that type of application, you might want to rethink that. Talk to myself, Bill, Bob especially. We can provide you direction on, yes, that is an appropriate application or not.
All right, thank you, Mike. So we're going to start off with, if I go the right direction, the new DD5 and the DD8 engines. We're calling them new because they're new to the American market. They're not new to us or Detroit. We've been running these engines for about 2 years now in Europe, and we have about 100,000 of these engines currently in production and running up and down the Asian market there, or the European market. They've had great success, and we brought them to the U.S. as part of our vocational medium-duty business, and we think they'll be a great asset. They'll come with virtual technician as a standard option, and they'll have PTO capabilities on the DD5 starting next year and the DD8 as soon as it's released next year as well. The DD5 engine will come with 210 horsepower, 575 foot-pound torque, and an option of 230 horsepower, 660 foot-pound torque. And the important takeaway on this is that it has very similar horsepower to the Cummins ISB, but the torque is considerably more, and it comes at a much lower RPM. So with that, you end up having more power and better fuel mileage. As I said before, they have a transmission PTO capability starting next year, and there will also be some changes to gear ratios for rear axles and transmissions to meet the lower RPMs of these engines. The DD5 has a B10 life of 400,000 miles. It comes with an option of engine brake. It also comes with the option of Zonar, and all the DD5 engines are upfitted with a variable cam. I think this is one of the best selling parts of the DD5 and the DD8 is the service intervals. Right now, the standard service interval is 45,000 miles on the oil change. That's about 3 times most of the competition. So that's 1/3 of the amount of times over the life of the vehicle that you'll have to change the oil. That's a considerable savings, lack of time it has to stay in the shop for maintenance and oil and filters. The DD8 is a 7.7 liter inline 6-cylinder, 260 horsepower, 660 foot-pound of torque, with an option of 350 horsepower, 1,050 foot-pound torque. You can start ordering these engines now, but they won't be available until first quarter of next year. And one difference with the DD8, it will have a option for engine PTOs, not just transmission mounted PTOs. Some of the same specs, B10 with 400,000 mile life, the option is Zonar, option of engine brake as well. The Allison 4700 transmission is not new to Freightliner. We've had it in some other models, but we now made it available in the 114 SD by request. So if you have a need for a Allison transmission in your 114, it's now available. Another highly requested item is the LED headlights in an M2 product. So now you can spec those lights, gives better visibility, longer bulb life, and I think it looks pretty nice too. Another big item that a lot of people have asked for is more aggressive steps for mud, snow, and ice conditions. So we now put a more aggressive edge, as you can see on the corners there, to try to help out with any kind of slippery conditions. Then another option that a lot of people ask for is a backup camera pre-wire. So we have a mount that goes in overhead, and that allows you to mount your monitor in about the same location as you would a rear view mirror. Keeps the dash clear so you're not blocking any switches or gauges. Also is out of the way of the field of vision for the driver. We're offering USB charging capabilities now, so you can put the plug in there and be able to charge your electronic items, Bluetooth, cell phones. We also offer a light bar pre-wire. Keeps you from having to remove the headliner to run the wire, or run the wire on the exterior of the cab. It has a 30 amp capability, so it'd be able to power any light bar that's on the market today. We've improved the fixed key option. If you get fixed keys, they're no longer removable, and the redesign is easier to start the engine with even work gloves on. The blunt cut wires for the bodybuilders, Mike touched on this a little bit earlier. Got some of the codes up there on the screen for you. This is for the lighting. They can be located in 3 different locations. It can be on the firewall, it can be at the back of the cab, or the end of the frame, wherever you need it. And it's also available not just in lighting, but also for engine and transmission control as well. I noticed on the roll-off truck yesterday, there's a vehicle speed sensor that was run to the middle of the console. I didn't get a chance to look at it closely enough to see if it was a factory option or not, but that is a factory option if you need to run vehicle speed sensors. Bright mirrors with heated and remote have been around for a little while, but we now added a LED marker light. Gives better visibility. And we also offer a 24-inch antenna if you keep getting broken antennas from low limbs or trying to go through the drive-thru or something. And so the question is, why Freightliner? I've been with the company for about 20 years now, and I noticed in the past 3 to 5 years it's really started gaining a lot of momentum going towards fuel efficiency, uptime, quality, and I think it's definitely moving in the right direction to meet everybody's needs. This is the regions broke out by our vocational sales group. Mike's got number 1 there in the green at the northwest. It includes Alaska and Hawaii. And I got number 10 in the southwest. And here's our contact information. We actually have another screen, but I'll leave this one up there so you guys can write that down if you need our contact information. And we'd like to definitely thank you for coming out, listening to our presentation and having us here. Be willing to take any questions you may have.
Who has the CNG plow truck? Whose truck is that?
Lisa, we've probably sold 200 or 300 of those. Majority of those plow trucks are in Kansas City. They've got 3 of their own stations that they've put in, and they've been natural gas for about 5 years. State of Massachusetts has some that they use for patrol trucks, not on the Massachusetts Turnpike, but for other places that they operate. So so far they've been performing very well. Canada has some in British Columbia and in Ontario and Quebec as well. So wherever there's gas and they can fit the tanks on there, they've been going to even in plow trucks. Okay, and that started really after the 12-liter came aboard, which has really only been out for about 2.5–3 years. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks again, everyone. We appreciate the opportunity.
The preceding video was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found at tsp2.org. That's tsp2.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.